1,000 or 1,200, can we just cuckoo go into the filling station without any hassle and buy the commodity and go home? Because if you look at the queues, and then at the end of the day, you can't even buy the commodity, what are we talking about? So if you want to increase by whatever means, go ahead and do it. But make the commodity available.
Okay, the ripple effect now.
The ripple effect.
The landlords, they will take money from you.
Yeah.
School owners, they will collect their parts.
Prices of
market men
food
and women,
items.
they will collect their parts. At the end of the day, hey,
Collecting their parts right now.
Nigerians too
It
far.
will get to a point where, yes, we will know that, okay, we have gotten to the wall.
Hey.
But no, I mean, it's just been, we're just being realistic here.
And even when you are pushed to the wall,
The wall will push you back.
or the wall will collapse.
The wall will
The
collapse.
wall will collapse.
Or you push through the wall.
Oh, exactly. Or you push through the wall.
It is well.
Okay, we will be fine at the end of the day. All right, still staying with some issues, of course, in at the federal level. Shettima not sidelined. No rift in Aso Rock, says aide. The president on Monday dismissed as fiction insinuations of a rift between President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima. According to Shettima's Senior Special Assistant on Media and Communications, Stanley of Nigeria's presidency, no vice president has enjoyed the total confidence and full support of his principal like Shettima, end of quote. Also, Nkwocha added that the vice president is another quote, a colossal member, end of quote, of Tinubu's administration. There's always no smoke
Without fire.
So it feels like there's something going on. Might not be something very bad, but it just feels like there's probably there's a crack somewhere.
But for me, what's his name again? Like he quoted in the report. I think Mr. Vice President has been very, very active so far in this administration.
Yeah.
He has been to a lot of platforms for representing Mr. President. And, you know, unlike what we used to have, I think he's engaging him and, of course, making him very relevant in the scheme of things.
And I must add here that the Vice President has also been one who has, irrespective of everything, decorated his principal. In every angle, he has just said glowing things about Mr. President and always saying that, you know what, things are tough, but my principal is on top of the situation. He's looking at how best to find a solution to these things. And, you know, in politics, some people will always find a way to just bring some discord in all of this. But whatever it is, we do hope that it will be sorted.
People are already scheming ahead of 2027, saying how they can break their partnership and, of course, capitalize on that to woo the vice president to their side.
Okay, let's see how this plays out. Lagos?
Who's next?
Okay.
Yeah, quite.
Why the break?
Who's next?
Okay. Let me go.
Okay. I think we should just come this way.
Just go that way.
Okay. Hunger protest rattled federal government. Wanted Britain speaks from UK. The British national declared wanted on Monday by the Nigerian police, Andrew Wynne, for allegedly plotting to overthrow President Bola Tinubu's administration, has denied the allegation. Wynne said he wasn't aware he had been labeled a fugitive. The rebuttal comes a few hours after the Nigerian police placed a 20 million naira bounty on his head along with a Nigerian, Lucky Obinya, who was described as an accomplice. Addressing journalists, the force spokesperson, Muyiwa Adejobi, accused the Britain of building a network of sleeper cells to topple the government and plunge the nation into chaos. But Wynne declared that he couldn't have been scheming to destabilize the leadership of a country that accommodated him for 25 years. He said, and I quote, "I am not aware that I am a fugitive. I am not aware that I am running away from the law. I have been visiting Nigeria for 25 years and have had a bookshop in the NLC office right in the center of Abuja for 7 years. All that time, of course, the security forces have paid no interest in me. I have always had one national... Look, I also... This particular story, I watched it, I watched the clip of it last night because his wife also spoke,
there,
his wife also spoke and said, look, she has known him for so many years, and that, they got married just last year. Yes, they got married just last year, that her husband had to come back to the UK at the expiration of his visa. So who are we to believe now? The police or
the British guy?
Or the fugitive
in quotes. The fugitive in quotes.
However, I think this is all linked with Joe Ajaero.
And that was why he was invited.
That was why he was
Yes,
invited.
he has a bookshop at the NLC Secretariat. And according to him, he's been doing his business for years, and he's never been a suspect, or he's never been invited by the police. So now that, of course, he's here and the police are saying, he's been planning to topple the administration of President Tinubu. And he has also said he will be available to answer questions via Zoom.
Or WhatsApp.
Or WhatsApp. So the only thing is, if the police insist that he has to come to Nigeria to answer to certain, they should get him a visa or ask him to be extradited to Nigeria, because right now he cannot come into the country because he does not have a visa to come in here. And so they can explore all opportunities if they think there's a person of question. That is if it is not just some kind of,
those allegations against...
They're weighty.
They are.
Very weighty.
And I'm sure, not 100%, that the police must have done their due diligence before linking the man with the allegation that he was planning to topple the government.
And remember, there are two of them.
Yes, there's a Nigerian.
Well, is it that easy to topple the government of Nigeria?
Well, it might not be that easy, but again, it doesn't take anything to start a movement. So if, there are things that they've seen and there are questions to be answered, you should answer those questions. He who fears no, how do they say that thing? Fears no fall. So if really it doesn't have any skeletons to hide, let him just...
At least Ajaero has been to the police headquarters to answer his questions.
Last week, with a lot of drama.
Yes, so even Falana was there.
He's a lawyer.
They had this mass procession.
In solidarity. Okay. All right, Lagos records 24,965 sexual and gender-based violence cases. Awareness Month begins. The Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency has recorded 24,965 cases bordering on domestic and sexual violence from 2019 to July 2024. The Executive Secretary, Mrs. Titilola Vaivo Adeniyi, said the agency secured over 50 judgments for victims since 2023. She, along with the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Lawal Pedro SAN, represented by the Acting Solicitor General and Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Justice, Hamid Oyenuga, briefed reporters ahead of the month of awareness against gender-based violence, and it began yesterday. You will recall that the head of service, the state government, the civil service, Mr. Bode Aguro, had read out as part of activities for Alausa Secretariat to be turned purple, which workers are expected to wear the color. Mrs. Vaivo Adeniyi said over 2 million Lagosians had been reached via the agency's various engagements and outreach programs directly and via the social media. And she urged Lagosians and NGOs and all stakeholders to join the agency as it propagates the SGBV message across the state throughout September. Lagos State has zero tolerance to sexual and gender-based violence.
We were purple yesterday, so Abimbola is...
I'm trending today.
Yeah, throughout this month.
My day.
And wear purple.
Whatever. I particularly like the fact that, the month of September, our month, is our month.
Okay.
Our month, because my son is September 17th,
and my
and that's my first.
Now they are
And that's my
family.
first fruit.
And
So
my,
our month.
Now they are
our
family.
month too. My baby is September 18th.
So it is our month.
Our month.
We brought them to the world
Yes.
this month. So it is our month.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, Joy ended with the fact that Lagos has zero tolerance for domestic and sexual violence, and we can't emphasize this enough. And the fact that there is an agency dedicated to this, and they are doing everything possible to ensure that this menace is nipped in the bud. It's not only women that get bitten, men also get bitten.
Yeah.
They
I find the
get-
figures quite alarming, you know, despite all that is being
it's
done.
shameful now that you come outside and say your wife beat you. Haba.
You know, just like Abimbola said, we must commend that particular agency. I witnessed something on Saturday, and I was looking for the number of Mrs. Vivo now. So I put a call through to one of our producers, Solomon. He gave me the number. And within two hours, she took it up.
Right. Yeah, they are very vibrant. They are very vibrant. If you have a problem, even if you cannot reach her directly, once you get to the agency, they have toll-free lines, they have numbers. You can even reach them on X. They're open. And, you know, they would also not take anything for granted. For you to have placed a call, it means that something must have happened. So even if you wanted to sweep the case under the carpet, they will take it up. Take it away from you.
And I think neighbors and friends should also help victims by speaking up for them.
Speaking up for
Because this particular incident, I was somewhere buying fruits at the entrance of a particular estate, and I saw the man slapping the woman. And I was like, Oga, yes. Oga, why are you slapping? Outside. Why are you slapping the woman? And I should mind. I said, mind my business for what?
In
You can't
Lagos.
continue to slap.
When you
Then I
see
opened the car and I
something,
said,
you
Madam,
say something.
leave the car.
In Lagos, mind your business. That anyway. Let's take our trending story for today.
Just close my mouth.
Let's take our trending story for today on hashtag this morning. One of the biggest stories on that platform, of course, is from the Dangote refinery. And like I said at the beginning, perhaps this is some piece of good news, and maybe this could also be a sigh of relief for on the issue concerning fuel. Today, the Dangote refinery will start lifting crude and making it public. I hope it will start from Nigeria.
I hope so too. Especially now that we have been magnanimous enough to be selling in Naira
In
to
Naira.
Dangote.
Naira to Naira.
Then I hope it's going to reflect on the price of PMS locally.
Well,
Well.
that's a tall order.
That tone is loaded.
Yeah, it is a tall order because again, you would
He's
also
a
have to look at
businessman.
every business person.
Whether he's
wants
a
to make
Nigerian
profit.
or not, whether they are buying Naira or
He has to
Naira
make
to
profit.
Naira.
Well, Adebimbe,
He's a
what we are going to
businessman.
buy, what we are going to pay for PMS in Lagos should be different from what they are going to pay for PMS in states like maybe Abuja.
It could be higher there.
Because of proximity?
It
Yes,
could be
no.
higher. It could be higher in other states. Because if you're lifting from Lagos and you're taking down to Kaduna, you'd also have to look at logistics.
Logistics, yeah.
So it could be higher.
But you're buying Naira. Not in dollars.
Most definitely.
But you're a businessman.
Well, you will
make a
maximize
profit.
profit.
You have to make a profit.
All right, that's the hashtag for today. In days to come, let's be hopeful that this will also have a turnaround effect on the issue locally. That's it on the opening segment of the program. We'll take a quick break. When the conversation returns, our first topic of discussion today. Another one that is eliciting a lot of controversy here and there. We'll be talking about the barring or the banning of under 18 from writing JAMB and NECO.
I left secondary school when I was 16.
What time, when did you enter the higher institution?
Yeah, I
2
can't-
years after.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So it was 18.
One thing
Remember
know-
I told you, my
Yes.
mom deliberately delayed me for 2 years.
So it was 18. So again, a lot of people that have been shouting, and I'm like, this 664 thing, it's been there for years. It's not new. But of course, we do have an educationist, or someone who's passionate about education, who will be joining us on the conversation this morning.